I had a lot of people asking me if I still work as a nurse. I'm here to be honest with you. Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys have been doing awesome. It's been a little bit of a minute. For those of you that don't know, I'm actually in my studio office situation. I have been trying to start a candle business from the ground up, and it's been taking up a lot of my time, so that's where I've been. I'm really sorry. I know a lot of you guys have sent me messages saying that you missed me, and that's kind of what I've been up to. I think my next video will kind of be a little bit more about the whole candle thing, but today's video is going to be a Q&A. I actually filmed this video and lost the footage, so I asked you guys on Instagram for some new questions, and I will also answer some of the questions that I got previously as well. So let's just jump right in. All right, here we go. So the first question is, what do you do when your job gets stressful? Also, I'm gonna try to answer these as quickly as I can because I'm such a rambler, but I like doing these because then you guys get to know me a little bit better. So if you don't know, my huge thing about stress is exercise. So whenever I'm like super stressed out and I'm kind of losing my you-know-what, I really make sure that I'm working out. I realized this when I was a brand new nurse that I needed to work out almost every day. And so I get up before work. Even when I worked night shift, I would get up at 3:30 and I would work out. I do the same thing. I get up at about 3:34 in the morning. I know it's really early, but I go to bed early. I'm not that great at it, but I try to go to bed early and I work out before my shifts. This is the #1 way that I have been able to handle my stress, my anxiety, depression, the whole nine. It keeps my mental health clear and just amazing. So that is my #1 tip on when my job or anything in my life gets stressful, is that. Somebody asked if I have Dansko shoes, and if so, do I recommend? I did actually have a pair of Danskos when I worked on the floor. However, since they're a clog, I ended up having a bunch of hip pain and I could not figure out what it was. And then after going to physical therapy and everything, I found out that it was due to my Dansko shoes, just because of how I would drag my feet to kind of keep them on, if that makes sense. With that said, a lot of people love Danskos. I did really like the support that they provided, but it caused issues with my hip. I've always had issues with that hip, so they may work well for you. I do like that they're impervious and you can wipe them, so that's really nice. How do you balance full classes and clinicals and life? You kind of don't. It's really difficult. You kind of just do the best you can. You prioritize. I do wish I would have taken more time to hang out with friends when I was in nursing school. It was really hard on a lot of my friendships, and some of them I just honestly ended because of nursing school. So just do your best. Honestly, all of nursing school for me with having kids was survival mode. Some days I still feel like I'm doing that, but that's, I don't know. I winged it every day. I don't know. This is a huge question. You guys ask me this all the time. I get it. Even when I don't ask for Q&As, people will ask, how is Delilah doing? She has been doing really, really well. I'll grab her and kind of answer for herself. What's up? Everybody wants to know, I'm doing a Q&A video, and everybody wants to know how you've been doing with your Chiari.
I have been good.
Come here.
I've been okay. I'm gonna get my flippies.
Okay. How have you been doing?
Good.
How have your headaches been?
I've been noticing more. I've been noticing them more.
You were doing really, really good until this week, I feel like, weren't you?
I've been doing cartwheels.
Yeah. And what do cartwheels do?
Well, they put me upside down for a couple seconds.
But what does it do to your head? Like how do they make you feel like afterwards?
One day I did a lot of cartwheels and I had a humongous headache for about 1.5 days.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was pretty rough. But before that, I feel like you were doing pretty good.
So Dad abandoned me from having a headache from doing cartwheels.
Dad abandoned you?
Yes, he abandoned me from doing it.
He banned you, not abandoned you.
He banned me.
He banned you from doing. Well, you can do what you want, but you know, I think. Would you agree that you're learning your limits a little bit more? Like you kind of knew that those cartwheels were gonna make your head hurt, didn't you?
Yeah, I just wanted to go wild.
Yeah. So I mean, honestly, we just let her be a kid. She can kind of decide what's worth having a headache for, and sometimes that's just. She's got to be a kid too. Oh my gosh! You want to show everybody your choker?
And I lost mine.
So, I would say she was doing really good, but she struggles with chronic pain, and she's going to struggle with chronic pain, so.
Lighting hurts my eyes staring into it.
I know, it's really bright. Okay. Thank you for answering the question.
Okay.
Thank you. Say hi, everybody.
Hi, everybody.
And how are you doing?
Good.
You're doing good, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. I love you.
I love you.
Have fun. Can you close the door when you leave?
Okay.
Thank you. That is how Delilah is doing. Charlie and I had just been talking about how she had been doing so good, and I'm not kidding you, the next day she came home and was in a ton of pain. So she has honestly been doing really, really well for like the past 6 months or so. Like truly, truly super well. And I think a lot of that is she is learning her boundaries. It's just, she's a kid and she's gonna be a kid, and we kind of just let her do that. How did you stay motivated in nursing school? I want to quit every day. Honestly, just knowing, like, trying to keep the end goal in sight was something that was really helpful for me. You feeling like this makes me think that maybe you're not taking very good care of yourself. I am so guilty of doing this, and this is just an assumption, obviously, but maybe take a little bit of time to yourself. It's really hard, but nothing worth having comes easy, so you just gotta hang in there and just keep going, you know? If you think about it in the grand scheme of things, nursing school is a very short period of time in your life. Like, looking back on nursing school, it was like a blip, and it was only like a year and a half ago for me. So it seems like the worst thing in the entire world right now, but I promise you, in the grand scheme of things, you'll be really grateful that you finished that and that you became a nurse. I get a lot of questions on my favorite vegan meals and favorite websites. Honestly, I just Google it. Like, let's say I want a mushroom stroganoff, I'll literally Google easy vegan mushroom stroganoff. If I want some sort of like lentil loaf, I'll do easy vegan lentil loaf. I really don't have a specific site. I guess Minimalist Baker has a lot of really great recipes. I don't specifically go to her website to look for recipes, but if I look up a recipe and she has a blog post for a recipe, I will typically click on her blog. So that's kind of my best advice, you guys. Just kind of Google it, and that's what we do. Or I just make it up and throw things together, and that works too. Somebody asked, do you have a goal to do YouTube full-time and leave nursing once you get to that point? I've also had a lot of people asking me if I still work as a nurse. I'm here to be honest with you. Yes, I'm still working as a nurse. With that said, with everything going on right now with COVID, it's August 2020 right now, in case you're watching this in the future. Hopefully it's a lot better over there in the future. But right now it is August 16th, and our kids are supposed to start school in the beginning of September, and we still don't know if they're going to be going to school. They had decided that the kids were going to go to school full-time in person, and then last week they sent out a thing saying, just kidding, we don't actually know what we're gonna do. We're gonna get together and talk about it again. So obviously, as you can imagine, I am a nurse and I work full-time, and my husband works in management full-time, and we're kind of freaking out a little bit, I'm not gonna lie. So with all that said, that wasn't my goal to quit being a nurse and do YouTube. However, with that said, if my kids can't go to school full-time in person, ultimately we have decided that if it comes to that, I'm gonna have to drop my hours as a nurse and try to work a little bit more from home. So this was just something that was thrown on us last week. So yes, I still work as a nurse. I have not been planning to work as a full-time YouTuber, and honestly, with that said, I probably will never be just, I don't wanna say just, I don't mean it like that at all. Being a full-time YouTuber is so much work, you guys. I do it on top of my full-time job. I obviously don't do it full-time because I have a job, and it's impossible to be as consistent as a lot of these full-time vloggers, but I'm telling you, it is so much work, you guys. Like, I guarantee you, those YouTube moms that get so much, people give them so much crap. I guarantee you they're working 40 hours a week just like the rest of us. But anyways, with all that said, I am not a person to put all of my eggs in one basket. I never have been, and I probably never will be. So, for example, I've had YouTube since 2012. I've just done it kind of on the side. I haven't made like a fortune doing it, but it is a little bit of side income, which is really, really, really beneficial, especially when I was in nursing school and I wasn't working out of the home. For a little bit there I was. Remember that? When I was pregnant with Winnie, going to school full-time and working 6 days a week and daily vlogging. I don't know how I did that. This is gonna be a long-winded thing, whatever, I'm just gonna go into it. Maybe I won't answer as many questions, but so I lost my friend who was 30. I lost her last year, and she passed away. She had ovarian cancer. It really hit me hard. It made me realize like how short life is, and that really kind of got me thinking, like, I wish I could spend more time with my kids. I wish I could be home with my kids more. And I work full-time obviously as a nurse, and I work call and holidays, and it's hard. So I definitely would never rule out working more from home, whether it's YouTube or whatever, even if I just did like nurse triage from home or something like that. That's a really long-winded answer to that question, but I get this question so much. And lately I've been getting, like, if I'm working as a nurse. I promised you guys, if I ever stop working as a nurse, I'm gonna tell you. I'm not gonna be shady about it. And I really hope, if I have to go down around on my hours. I really, really hope that I'm able to stay working where I work because I love where I work. Obviously, I would understand if they can't work with me. I'm really hoping that they will. This is all up in the air. I don't know. I just am hoping everything will work out. So there's that whole spiel. What is my least favorite thing about being an OR nurse? I don't think it's any different than being than any job. I think my least favorite thing is you have different personalities and some of them aren't as friendly. However, like I said, I don't think that's specific to the OR. I think that's any job. It is a little bit more difficult in the OR because there's different levels of education, and even though it shouldn't matter, in some rooms it does. You can feel that it does, if that makes sense. So that's probably the weirdest thing about the OR. This is all just my opinion, you guys. Like, take it or leave it. I just figure, I get so many people being like, oh, you act like you know everything. Let me be the first to tell you that I don't know shit about shit. That's like my #1 quote, because I'm always learning, and I can only give you guys my perspective, and this is my channel, and if you want someone else's perspective, you're gonna have to go to someone else's channel, because this is a little side note. I've gone through a little bit of a third life crisis over the past year, and I've gotten to the point where not everybody's gonna like me, and that's totally fine. But I'm also not going to pretend to be somebody that I'm not just to attempt to appease the people that don't like me. It just is what it is. Like, I have spent too much of my life trying to be a people pleaser, and I'm just done with that crap. I'm just done, and I highly recommend you guys read the book Untamed. I'm not done with it yet, but I'm to the point where, like, I've gotten so many negative comments over the years, and I'm to the point where I just don't care. Like, obviously, like, I want to help you guys, and I love having this community, but if somebody's gonna be, like, mean to me or say rude things to me, I'm not gonna be sad when you leave. Like, it just is what it is. I know that sounds really rude, but I get such rude, snarky comments sometimes. Like, I'm unsubscribing. Okay. Bye. That was really sassy, but I'm telling you, I'm turning over this new leaf. I'm just trying to be the best person that I can be, trying to be the best mom I can be, and I'm not perfect. And if you don't like me, I totally get it, because maybe I don't like you either. I don't know. I don't even know if I'm gonna keep this in here, but it just is what it is. Anything you wish you would have done differently on my journey to become a nurse? Honestly, I wish I would have known I wanted to be a nurse sooner, because I would have maybe gone a different route. I ended up going to a very expensive private university, and I really wish I would have tried to find a cheaper alternative, maybe even considered my ADN, but in that respect, I know a lot of people that have their ADN and now they're going back for their BSN online, and that it's costing them almost as much as I have paid. So that's really the only thing I maybe would have done differently. I just didn't know I wanted to be a nurse until I had almost all my prerequisites done. Someone asked, do you think getting your LPN is worth it? I think if you need to work throughout school, I definitely think that getting your LPN is worth it, because I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, this is an assumption, I believe LPNs make a little bit more than CNAs. Let me know down below in the comments if you guys have gone that route. That's kind of my assumption, because an LPN is a little bit higher of a education than a CNA. So I think it would be worth it if you have to work throughout school. I think it is a good, like, stop out if you need to. Somebody asked, do you miss vlogging the girls/family activities? Honestly, I don't. I still do vlog activities with the girls, but this might be a tangent too. This is just gonna be the longest Q&A ever. But when I was daily vlogging, and you'll see this throughout almost all daily vloggers, a lot of them at least have talked about this at some point. When you are a daily vlogger or you're a family vlogger, you kind of get lost in the, I need to get this shot, I need to film this. I've really kind of just like stepped back from that, and I enjoy life in the moment. I don't love sharing the girls as much in the videos. That's an intentional choice, that I don't have the girls in the vlogs as much, especially as they're getting older. So I don't miss that. I have a lot of great memories in person in real life, and I still vlog them enough to have those memories also on film. Would you go for starting the journey of getting your BSN at 37? If you have your ADN, sure. Even if you don't have your ADN, sure. If you want to be a nurse, I really don't think that there's any age where you need to become a nurse. My friend Joe, his mom and him actually went through an ADN program together at the same time. So I don't think you're too old. If you want to do it, definitely do it. A lot of people have been asking, what is the next nursing journey, any educational goals? I always wanted to be a nurse practitioner, but let me tell you, going through nursing school with kids was so hard on my family. It was very hard on my marriage and very hard on the kids. And like I said, after my friend passed away, I really just kind of started reevaluating what's important to me. And honestly, At this time, I don't know if that's something that I want to do. It has always been kind of an end goal for me, and maybe I will at some point, but that's not anywhere in the near future. I'm just trying to enjoy working and spending time with my family without that added stress of an education, because it is really, really stressful, you guys. Another question, best marriage advice. Best marriage advice I can give you from my own personal experience is you need to communicate. At some point, I'd like to make a video with Charlie talking about how we got through like the hardest time in our marriage, which was when I was in nursing school. I think it would be beneficial for a lot of you that are married and going through that. I get that question a lot, especially on Instagram or DMs and stuff. Communication, you really truly have to divide and conquer. That was something that Charlie and I had to learn. It took us a couple years, but once we figured it out, we are super happy. And honestly, like, I didn't think we would make it through nursing school sometimes, like straight up. Like, it was so hard on our marriage, but we have become the most amazing team. And I am so grateful that we stuck it through, because I love him. And honestly, like, I could not ever imagine not being with him. So communicate. If you need help, ask for help. Ask your partner to help. Your partner is your partner for a reason. Think you'll ever move? Oh, that's a good question. Yes, we think we will move. We have considered moving to a warmer state. However, we want to pay off my student loans first, so that would be much further down the line. Piggybacking off of that, a lot of you guys have been asking for a debt update. I really don't have one. When all the COVID stuff happened, we were like throwing all of our money at my student loans. We stopped doing that and we started putting money in savings instead, because we really didn't know what was going to happen. And then we were just about to start getting back into it and throwing more money at my student loans because they don't have any interest right now. And then this whole school thing started, and now we're like, but with all that said, at least we have a little bit of a cushion for me to kind of figure out what to do financially if I have to be home more. There's your debt update, you guys. Craziest cases you've experienced. Honestly, I don't know, crazy. Like, I've had a couple crazy traumas, I guess. Not much phases me, I'm not gonna lie. There was a patient that had a gunshot wound through their hand. That was interesting because the surgeon was like irrigating through the hand, and it was like a through and through. So that was really interesting. Stabbings are really interesting. I don't know, I think they're all kind of interesting and crazy in their own way, I guess. I don't know, not a lot phases me. Organ procurements are, suck. Organ procurements suck. They also asked, are nurses really that mean? Are introverts able to become good nurses? Yes. I work with a few introverts, and I even did on the floor. I think, yes, some nurses are really that mean. It's not that many, and luckily the great, nice, wonderful nurses overshadow the ones that I wish weren't nurses or I didn't have to work with, but it just, like I said, I really don't think that this is anything specific to nursing. I think you're always gonna have those mean people. I do think that there is a little bit of nurses eat their young. I didn't experience it on the floor, on the unit that I worked at. I came from a really great group and team of people. Not saying that the team I have right now is like that, but there is a little bit more of a nurses eat their young type mentality with a couple people at my new job. It is what it is. Like I said, it's everywhere. I think that's gonna be everything. Let me just really quick look on here. I think that's gonna be all the questions I answered because I got so long-winded. I will answer one last question, which is basically, can I give a life update? I guess I kind of did. I'm still working full-time as a nurse. I am starting a candle business on the side. This candle smells really good. This is like a pumpkin pancake. I have all these, I'll show you guys. I have a bunch of candles. They're curing right now. You guys can follow me at Winter's Moon Candle Co. I will put it right here. I'll also link it in the description. You guys can follow me if you're curious. I have not launched yet because I have to get some background things figured out, as well as I'm using 100% soy, which soy needs approximately 2 weeks to cure with the fragrance oil. So yeah, that's kind of what that is all about. So I have to wait to test them. There was a lot of testing involved. I've been working on this since June and it's August, so it's not a quick process. So that's kind of what's going on. My next video is actually going to be a little bit more candle related, and I don't plan on all my vlogs being candle related. I found that I was filming a daily vlog and it ended up being, it's like a couple days, and it ended up being mostly candle stuff. So stay tuned for that. That'll be posted this week sometime. But that's kind of a life update. The whole school thing is kind of has us up in the air. We don't know what's going on. I will say, people have asked if I like the OR. I do like the OR. Some days I absolutely love it, and other days I wonder what the heck I was thinking. I think that's the reality for any job, though. The OR is really difficult. It is a highly specialized area. It is unlike other nursing. However, most days I absolutely love my job. Everybody has hard days. I don't think that's unique, and I don't foresee myself switching specialties anytime soon. I really truly like surgery. Holy cow, my lips are dry, my mouth is dry, I need some water. So thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate all of your love and support, especially on my new journey as a candle maker. I'm a crazy person. I think that's why people kept asking if I quit my job, because it's probably from the outside, it's really impossible. I think people are just thinking that I'm doing all this full time, but I'm crazy. I don't know why I do this, but I have learned to delegate. Charlie is actually figuring out the stuff for my website. So I'm learning to delegate because I physically can't do it all. Anywho, that is so rambly. I will catch you guys next time. I don't know why I did that. My lips are really dry. I need chapstick. Okay.